Hello YouTube y'all. Today we're going to cover on a topic that I haven't really talked about in a while, and most importantly, welcome to my fellow Rumble users. Today we're going to talk about why I would choose whole grain bread and whole grain products such as brown rice over white rice, and let's say whole grain bread over enriched grain bread. So we're going to find the first reason here. In chat is that number one, fiber. The fiber in whole grain is chat. It's going to name a few. There are two different types out of the many types of them. The first one, primarily found in whole grain bread, we call these arabinoxylans. Arabinoxylans are practically primarily insoluble fibers, but they can also be soluble fibers. For ones who don't know, soluble fiber is fermented by gut bacteria and promotes a good gut microbiome, while insoluble fiber kind of acts like a sweep. Imagine like processed foods, there's carcinogens in it. Insoluble fiber helps to pass these processed foods and carcinogens out of the colon, out of the digestive system, so that these carcinogens don't have enough time to interact with the cells in our body, so that it can mutate one day or become something like cancer. Insoluble fiber also helps to do that, but most importantly, right here for this one, it's also helped with fat loss efforts, chat. I'm beginning to realize after eating these types of food, I'm beginning to go just a little bit thinner than I really am. What I'm beginning to realize here, chat, is that my body is just beginning to look a little bit thinner every time I wake up. And most importantly, before I eat, I'm beginning to see that it's just a slightly tad bit thinner. I think for this, whole grains definitely help because they lower insulin spikes to a good extent. They keep insulin stable. There'll still be spikes. It's also good because it stabilizes blood sugar levels and helps keep our energy levels stable. That's why I would choose whole grains because it's definitely helped me in that avenue. Remember that genetic responses are still different for everyone. So we're going to talk about the wheat grain here. The wheat grain is primarily composed of three parts. That's usually made into whole grain wheat flour. The first part is the bran. The bran of the wheat grain contains the most antioxidants and contains the most fiber. This is where we find our fibers such as arabinoxylans or beta-glucans. We also can also find other several different types, but I can't really name them now. It's also a concentrated source of antioxidants that I believe contains plant sterols, plant lignans, cellulose. I think that's a type of fiber anyway. Contains phenolic acids, ferulic acids, also contains a little bit of lignans too. All of these act within antioxidants in the body, and most importantly, the reason I say this is because it lowers inflammation. This connects back to my fat loss efforts. Is that when these types of whole grains, or about be whole bread, whole grain hot dog buns, or whole grain burger buns, all of these help to lower inflammation due to their antioxidant content. That's what I'm beginning to realize. It's very beneficial for people who definitely have some sort of inflammation going on in their body. That's what I've seen. Alright, so that's why I would choose whole grain bread. It's richer in antioxidants and contains several different types of fiber that supports a good gut health. Importantly, a good digestive system. Alright, I know with whole grains, chat, you guys might use a restroom more often. So what do I do with this? I definitely use flushable wipes. They sell for like 509 on Amazon. It's like $5 for like a 3 pack. I'm not sure if they raised it, but what I've done to counteract this is that I simply use a little bit of that toilet paper, but most importantly, I would definitely use that flushable wipes. Alright, very cheap on Amazon. So that's what I've done. You will definitely use the restroom a little bit more often with these types of breads, but that's simply the body. Now we're gonna move on to number two. Number two is definitely colonic cancer reduction. When it comes to whole grain breads, chat, the biggest reason that I choose whole grain breads, brown rice over white rice, 100% whole wheat flour instead of enriched flour, is that because it helps reduce our risk of colon cancer. Why I say that, chat, is that this fiber, I think I've said it before, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, both of these act as brooms within the gut system, or would that be through the colon as it passes through the digestive system. Carcinogens that are found within red meats or within many of the foods that we eat today, they have less of a time to pass through the gut, and let's say, not infect cells, but inject genetic damages to these cells over time. Think of colonocytes. If colonocytes interact too much with carcinogens, let's say over a period of like 30, 20 years, eventually there could be some sort of colonic cancer happening because of the mutations by these carcinogens. Insoluble and soluble fiber act as brooms so that these carcinogens pass relatively faster through the gut. So that's definitely the second reason here. Now, the third reason that I'm going to cover, which is probably like the most teen-based reason I'm going to say here, is acne. When it comes to whole grain bread, whole wheat flour over enriched flour, it helps because acne is still influenced by several different genetic and hormonal influences, but whole grain breads tend to stabilize blood sugar. And whole grains also, when eaten over a good period of time, also tend to lower systemic inflammation that's happening within the body. This systemic inflammation, when it's lowered, also indirectly contributes to less acne because obviously this can be redundant. There's lower levels of inflammation or there's lower levels of inflammation, there are less chances of a time for a breakup with acne. Alright, for me, Chad, I think acne is already beginning to break away again, so I'm probably gonna have to take care of that. So that's one reason. That's the third reason actually here is that whole grains, when it comes in its whole form, not the enriched bread form, it tends to lower acne levels. But remember, Chad, individual responses will still vary. Obviously, how everyone will respond to it will differ, but it's most certainly better than eating enriched white bread, or let's say white rice over brown rice. So that's why I would choose. That's for the third reason. It's probably the most teen-centric reason here, that it because of stable blood sugar levels due to the amount of fiber and the action lowered inflammation from antioxidant contents. It does indirectly help to lower our acne. So that's the reason I choose that. That's like three reasons here, very basic stuff. And as I said, today it's probably morning. It is morning for me, so make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget my Rumble users too, y'all. Love y'all. All right. If you don't like and subscribe, still love y'all. Other than that, bye bye.